test live stream audio. Test audio, test audio, test audio, test audio, test audio, test audio.
Test audio, test audio, test audio.
Test audio from Tamara's microphone. Test audio.
Well, she wasn't there.
Test audio from Tamara's microphone. Test audio from the back row, from the back row, from the back row.
Test, test. Good evening, everyone. All right, we're going to get started. Let me introduce myself and the folks that I came with today. My name is Meryl Romanek. I'm from Sinilofsky Romanek SIA. We're the architecture and planning firm that has been task assigned to help do some research and due diligence, and with city input, with resident input, come up with some options as far as where City Hall, Town Center should be or could be. This is a very, very important part of the process, and I'm glad to be here with Giano Fioli from Calvin Giordano and Associates, and Sophia Nevis from Calvin Giordano also. That we're going to help facilitate the process of kind of this community meeting, and this is really about us listening to you and learning from you. I want to share with you what's been accomplished so far in our due diligence and in our studies and analysis. So far we have done a lot of due diligence on the different site options. We've also done due diligence to understand what square footage would be appropriate for City Hall as far as the building, square footage would be appropriate for the community center as far as a building, the police station. We've analyzed all of the city facilities just to understand where they are today, what amenities they offer, so that we can look at possibilities for expanding programs, eliminating programs, and trying to assess that. So just really getting a good general understanding. We also have, for 3 weeks, we had a survey that was online that went out to the committee, out to the community. We have never had a survey where 1,054 people chimed in and spoke about what they'd like to see. So we applaud you and your community, because it's an amazing outpouring. It means that you care. It means that you want to see changes and adjustments that are better for the residents and better for the folks that could or should use the facilities. So it's an amazing process that we went through. Tonight, first, we'd like to share that with you as far as the results we got from that 3-week window, because there's a lot of useful information as we start to plan and as we start to think and dream about how to improve the town of Destin, specifically with City Hall and the amenities for the community. Then what we're going to do is, this is another layer of the community communicating with us, their wants and desires. We're going to share with you the content of the graphics and the boards and allow you to interact with the boards by placing dots or post-its notes with your thoughts on it. And those will all get layered in as far as ideas, content, initiatives, pushes and pulls that we can start to use as we start to plan further. So I'm just going to walk you through the 15 questions that were part of the survey so you can see what tools what we've heard and what we're using, and we're here to validate that today. So the first question was really trying to understand the age group of the folks that participated. The age group that really chimed in the most was the 35 to 44-year-olds. That's your young parents, that's your professionals, the community, your workforce. So it was kind of a nice outpouring, and seeing that those folks really care about what's going to be happening here and make sure that we listen to them. And from there, it was kind of spread across the board. A little bit after that, as far as the initiatives, the next group that chimed in was the 55 to 65-year-olds, and then kind of the middle range flanking the 35 to 44-year-olds. So we got a nice push, but you can see that the 35 to 44-year-olds were part of it. So this is a good chunk of the community as far as families and parents and younger folks. If you have kids or grandkids, what's their age group? A lot of people said it's not applicable to them, but really what we see beyond that is that there's a lot of little kids. So there's a lot of pre-Kers, kindergartners to 5th grades, that they're looking for things, amenities, stuff to do, places to engage. The next question is about what is the primary relationship to Destin? We were trying to understand who the respondents were, and vast majority were residents, and that's a good thing. We got some seasonal folks, some business owners, but the vast majority are people that live here and are part of your community intently, and so that was an overwhelming force. Where'd it go? Oh, how long have you lived or worked in Destin? And believe it or not, the vast majority of the respondents have lived here for over 20 years. That means people like it here, they move here, they stay here, they grow here, they grow their families. So that's all good news. It's just how we keep that culture here and keep them happy and keep them engaged in the community. From among the areas shown on the map, in what sector areas do you reside? That map is this map, and it really outlines your CRA districts, Holiday Isle, Gulf Resort, Henderson, Crystal Beach, and then the Village. The vast majority of the people live in the Village, which explains the resident response. So that's telling us that we have a lot of the folks that live in the single-family homes, the multifamily, the townhouses that are helping support the community. From among the areas shown on the map, in what sector area do you typically conduct business? And that's in the town center area, and that's where you have the majority of your shopping and all the support services that come to it. And then beyond that, it's in the Harbor District. So those are both of your CRAs, and those are both important places for supporting families and residents and the day-to-day operations of living life. 7, please tell us which of the following has a greater impact on where you live or work. And the most response we got was recreation and parks. And then the second was having different residential options. So it isn't just about single family, it's condos, it's multifamily, it's townhomes, and having that variety of spaces to live. Next, beyond that, which was kind of a tie, was economic development. And then it kind of tiers down more cultural things, more public spaces, transportation, mobility, education facilities, and civic facilities came in last. What facilities do you think are critical to be linked to the new City Hall Town Center? Parks and gardens. We're seeing over and over the green spaces, walking spaces, play spaces are important. Walking and biking trails, playgrounds, and a community center, and sports and courts. What type of cultural entertainment options do you see as the most important to be included in the new City Hall Town Center? festivals and marketplaces, restaurants and cafes, performing arts centers, museums and galleries. And then beyond that is passive pocket parks, library, and then nightlife. Which style do you think would best represent the identity of Destin? So just to get a pulse, because we in planning typically look at things two-dimensionally and look down on them like they're a site plan. But we also feel it's important to look at it in three-dimension and understand kind of a sensibility, because as you start to reinvent your spaces and your places and the energy, you can pick a direction as far as stylistically. So we shared on these boards, you guys will be able to chime in some mood imagery of kind of 4 different ways we could go. One is traditional and historic design. So that's more your traditional downtown brick and stone, classical styles as far as architecture and proportion, and kind of reminiscing that style. Second, it would be the Florida vernacular architecture. That's more akin to the things that were native to us, the clapboard siding, the sloped roofs, the metal roofs on top, well, metal on top of those roofs. Kind of the historic, maybe fishing village connection, right, as far as historic pieces of architecture, things that have windows that with flow-throughs, breezeways, porches, those types of things. The third option would be eclectic mix. That could be a mix of old and new. Some of this imagery I pulled because to me it looked a little bit old, but also looked new and pulled into your boat community. There's things that have wood tones to them. It's a little warmer, a little bit more nautical in nature, and a way to connect to the past, but also bring that fishing community to light. And then modern and contemporary is an option. So we're going to allow you to speak to that. Overwhelmingly, it came back saying somewhere between Florida vernacular as the majority, and then second as the eclectic and mix of old and new from the folks on the survey. What features are most important to be included in town center? And it's sustainable green building design was one option, but the winner was landscape and greenery. So again, we're seeing open spaces and places to be outside, enjoying nature and landscaping. How important is it that the city properties reflect Destin's cultural and historic heritage in its design? And overwhelmingly, it's very important. So the historic roots of this city being very strongly embedded in the fishing community and in the culture of being really a mainstay for a very, very long time is very important to reflect that. What parking and transportation components would be included in the new City Hall Town Center? The green one, which is dedicated pedestrian and bicycle, improving how we can get around the town, right? And there's just not the car and the car only. How we can make it more walkable, how we can make it more easily bicycled through and have proper parking and storage and facilities for bikes to be able to do that throughout the city. Number 14, what's the sustainability strategies that are most important to include in the new City Hall Town Center? And that's the blue, which is incorporate green spaces. So we're hearing that often. And then beyond that, number 15 was really the one-off responses that we got, which was the individual feedbacks, which we can make, provide you all those details. Those are more aligned with really making it more family-friendly, connecting with the community, finding ways to bring those green spaces and public amenities as far as park and recreation facilities to the community for the most part. And so we're learning from all of these. They start to paint a picture of where the folks and the residents would like to be and what they'd like to offer to the community. So today is about trying to allow you all to communicate with us. We're going to share these are the boards that are up here, so the folks that are on camera can also see them. This is in what sector do you reside or typically conduct your business. So we're going to allow you to take a dot and let us know where you reside and where you do business so that we can get a pulse on that. We're also going to see if you have a preference. We are looking at 3 different sites for town center. Option one is at the Morgan Sports Park. That's here, right? This site. Option 2 is a piece of what's known as the public site, because there's an adjacent parcel that's there. And option 3 is at the end of over towards the bridge. It's the site where the community center is today. Okay, so we're going to poll you guys to see if you have preferences as far as where town center should be. Architectural styles I talked about, so you're going to tell us which you prefer so that we can add this layer to our information. I'm going to skip over to here. Feedback in general. What are the most important services or facilities you feel are currently missing in our community? We've got Post-it notes. You're going to stick a Post-it note. What could we add? What could be better so that we can get a sensibility? How do you envision the new City Hall improving your daily life and the community as a whole? Put a Post-it so we get your feedback. Are there specific programs or activities you would like to see offered within the new town center that cater to your interests or needs? So you give us our input. This one is specifically about arts, culture, and civic engagement. Are you interested in arts and cultural programs? What type of exhibitions or activities would you like to see? How can the new City Hall facilitate greater civic engagement and volunteer opportunities within the community? So you'll put a little Post-it to see if you have any insight that we can help us steer our efforts. The next one is about supporting your youth and your seniors. What types of programs or facilities do you believe are important for the youth in our community? So we've got Post-it notes and you can share your thoughts. What services or spaces would enhance the quality of life for seniors in Destin? So again, we want to gain some feedback because as people stay here a long time, they're no longer that 35 to 44-year-old. They're that person that is like me, that's just on the cusp of 65 not too long from now. So, what would make my life better? Education and skill training. What would you be interested in participating in educational classes or skill training workshops? If so, what specific topics or skills would you like to learn? What barriers, if any, have you faced in accessing education or skill training in the past? And then the next one is entrepreneurship and economic development. Is there interest in co-working spaces or resources for local entrepreneurs and small businesses? What specific support would be most beneficial? And how can the new City Hall contribute to economic development and support local businesses? And then lastly, this is about general comments and from the potential uses and spaces mentioned earlier, which 3 do you consider the most important? So you'll put a dot on what you think is most important. What we'll do is take all this data, and it is a little enhanced to what the survey was asking. It kind of takes it to the next level. And that data will help influence direction. It'll help influence decisions that we'll start to make and look at through your eyes. And that's what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that we make this uniquely Destin and that we listen to you all. So today is about you all and having I can go here, yeah?
Test.
Listening to you all and giving you an opportunity to share with us so that we can take it to the next steps. Once we go through all the information, we start drawing and sketching, we'll be back and we'll start sharing thoughts with you, get feedback, go back and draw, and then come up with our final option. So, come on up. And I don't know if there's anybody out there in the digital world that's listening. And we can figure out a way to get your thoughts and ideas, but if I allow you all to kind of come up and participate in the charrette. Come join us. Huh? Sure, you're welcome to.
Don't make any attempt to normalize the responses. Go back to slide one. Can you go back to slide one?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, you can just repeat the question.
Okay, the question was, did we have an opportunity to go back to normalize the responses?
Right. So pop up the age slide, please. Okay, so we know the census data. We know the distribution of the census actually in the city. That probably doesn't match the census distribution. That just matches survey responses.
Correct.
So to normalize that information, you would take that and you would weight, and you know how to normalize, so was there any attempt to normalize the responses? That's my question.
Not at this moment, but we can certainly do so.
Because if some church or some group or some club said, hey, you all do this, and they're all 25-year-olds, but that's only 8% of the population of Destin, then you're going to skew everything else. The other question I had, I think it's on slide 9. Or question 9, maybe?
Cultural entertainment?
No, okay, it was the one with the pocket parks. You remember which one had pocket parks?
That one said Pocket Parks down below.
Okay,
It's in there, number 5 on that one.
okay. So if you go back to the other slide, the most popular thing was green space, parks and recreation. My question is, do you think people, you know, and I know what a pocket park is. But if we had said small neighborhood parks, I think you probably would have gotten a lot more people to go up on that. I mean, because that doesn't match what the other two slides that said recreation and park area and gardens. It doesn't match it, and it should, because we're not going to have 4 huge parks. If you want a bunch of parks, you want them in your neighborhood where you can walk your dog or, go sit on a bench, or, you can't smoke in the house. You just take your cigar out to the, park or whatever. Well, you can't smoke in the house. I know that. So I'm just saying that doesn't, and that may have just been a wording thing where if I ask somebody to find a pocket park other than your team and me and a couple of people who, the design folks, they probably wouldn't have a clue what a pocket park is. So I'm just saying.
Point well taken. I mean, you're right, because everything is a little open to some interpretation. Understood. Anyone else have any general questions?
I've never been to one of these.
Sure.
For the topic I thought was going, I don't know. But you give us a bunch of options here. I see 800,000 people chiming in here. See maybe 20 here adding to that. Is this something, I don't know where this survey was put out at. I have no idea. But there's some legitimate questions here, but I mean, you put someone on the spot to answer them in 10 minutes to say, I want a community center here. Is this something that could be kind of left open for maybe a week to let people kind of think, to put a question in, because I didn't know what topics were here. I was here for something different, but. So, to go up there and put a Post-it note up there, I've been here for over 30 years. There's probably a lot of things I can really think of, but there's one popping out of my head right now that we need, other than traffic control? No.
So this is a layered process, okay? So today is really just about ideas starting and starting to think of things that could make Destin better, right? And help improve the environment for everyone. So this is kind of the first toe in the water conversation. So this was on the city website. There were links that were advertised, and Tamara can share that. We could leave it open forever, but we're not sure that that's meaningful. But we're also going to have other opportunities where we come back and start to share things. And I think, to your point, sometimes it's easier to comment, like this is a little esoteric in some ways because this is more about kind of getting feelers and ideas. The next time we come back, we'll have drawings that you can say, I like that, I don't like that, okay? So we'll have another layered conversation where we're gonna get the feedback of something that you can comment on specifically, okay? And then yeah, so I think, and we can talk about it internally about how we do that. We always want the opportunity to be live, because there's moments where I can make eye contact with you and I can see you go, very quickly, where digitally I can't get that sensibility. So we prefer to do live and then overlay with a survey that allows people the opportunity that just can't get here or just prefer to do it that way. So we can create a format of sharing those options to gain feedback also. That's a little bit more graphic, a little bit more tangible, and something you can critique more than this, which is more about getting the bigger picture ideas out there that help us draw so that we can share that next layer with you.
We're talking about town center or city, are we talking about building another city hall and moving it to a different location than what we just put over here?
That's one option, yes.
Okay. Just so I know, I was ignorant, I didn't know what we're talking about moving, so a new city hall somewhere, okay.
And if I could add, one of the reasons why we're having this open house session is because a lot of people may have gone online and may have not felt comfortable giving a response. Here you'll have the opportunity to talk to us. We'll be here moderating discussions and helping sort of walk through some of these to bring some more clarity, so that then when you do put a response, it is more true to a better understanding of what the process is.
Yes?
It kind of oversimplifies it a bit by saying that it's going to be just building a new city hall in a different spot. I've been at several of these workshops and conversations and meetings that have happened regarding this topic, and it's much more of a finding a direction that we want the heart of the town to feel like, not just a place to put a new building. This one is a great building, but it's very much not everyone in town feels like this is the heart of the town. Whereas the other conversations that have happened about this, and the reason there are style options available, is this is a multi-building, multi-green space wide area project that would define a whole section of Destin and a direction for the rest of the town to follow suit with for future development. But I don't understand entirely all of the things, so I may be wrong.
You're not wrong. Because ultimately, if we said City Hall goes here, what does that mean to Morgan Sports Park? So don't think that it's just picking where City Hall goes, because the conversation is, that's why we're looking at all of your facilities, all of your amenities, trying to understand, trying to make sure that whatever decision's made is looked globally. It's not a decision about one piece of a puzzle, so that what makes moving something somewhere else, what is the impact to the stuff that remains and what we do beyond? Okay? Any other general questions? All right. Come on. Oh, uh-oh. One more.
Okay, is it a foregone conclusion that the new city hall will be in the property next to the bridge, Marler Bridge? No. Okay. Because, it's a beautiful place, but my goodness, you look at the traffic now and think about the traffic issues that would be to go to that for your city hall business or city hall meetings or what have you. Okay, thank you.
On your, I guess it's the second map, but it's not. I was come to understand by several conversations I've had with city staff that you would have indicated all of the city property, not just for the city hall idea, but all of the city properties. Where do you have that identified?
It is on the second one. We're trying to create zones, but we also show all the other sites that are around it. So the parks that are nearby, the parking lots that are nearby, they are all represented by being highlighted so that you can see all the city-owned parcels. You got to get, I'm encouraging you guys to all get up, right, and go check it out. So these are all the city-owned properties, whether they're highlighted. Hmm?
That's why I wanted to talk to you.
Okay,
There are around here and down here, there are 8 rights of way. that
oh,
go
right
to
of
the
ways?
water
Okay,
That the city does own,
okay,
and they are not listed here. And
Okay.
when you talk about pocket parks,
mm-hmm,
all of those lead to the water.
okay, yeah,
And so they can't legally, is my understanding, can't legally be a park.
Right.
Because they're right.
right away, mhm,
But they can be open to the public. And
to provide
allow
access to the water's edge.
access,
Mhm.
Because transportation is pedestrian,
Mhm.
you know?
So we'll get the
but
information
Not all
on-
of those are there.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't, all I could see was the big green, and I thought, wait a minute, that's not everything.
Okay,
And there are about 8 of them that go along here.
All right, we'll
And
find out where they're-
Those would be great if those could be opened up to the neighborhood.
Actually got a couple right in here.
well, there's one little slot,
Yeah, there's one little one parking place.
yeah,
And
it's labeled a park, but I'm like, I don't know what that's doing.
Actually, another one.
But see, a pocket park to our citizens, I'm the chair of the Parks and Rec Committee.
Okay.
But a pocket park to that means we want it in our neighborhood, but we don't want the public to know about it. We
Right,
just want our
it's a little
neighborhood.
secret, little enclave for you.
These little openings, and this one would be perfect for what we're talking about. For
Okay.
the local people in that area.
Mhm.
Not necessarily for the general public to have advertised, this is a park. you
Got
know.
it, mhm,
So.
We'll
you
get
can
'em located.
You can get those from Joe Bodie. He has a picture of them. He did the research on it. and
Okay.
All that kind of stuff. And
Great.
he's with city staff, but he's not here.
I'll get it from him.
But there's
Luckily, I've got to know nearly everybody here at the cities.
So you know Joe.
You can actually go to the Okaloosa PA map.
Yeah, and just go through
You
it.
can look at where basically roads stop and they turn in toward
Yeah,
water
that-
body.
yep.
But it's just perfect for
Yep.
a little neighborhood get-together, some people to walk to and enjoy.
Yep,
We love it because
bring a kayak and go.
we mow our own. There's 3, I live here. There's 3 in my neighborhood. and we mow the one with the tree, right?
But
We gotta cut the tree down. Did you get the tree cut down?
I sent an email on it.
Oh, okay.
But we don't need to give them to the next door neighbors for parking.
So, but anyway, I think we might find some more.
Little
some
secrets,
other
like little
places.
secret hidden gems.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We call them the hidden gems.
Perfect.
And
Thank you for sharing.
there's actually one on Mountain Drive that is between 2 businesses that are our businesses. It's on the north side of Mountain Drive. It's across from 400 Mountain Drive, because that's what I own. But it's across the street, and there's 2 car dealerships there. They work on cars. They're not dealerships. They don't sell them, but they work on cars. And there's literally a road space that goes through the middle. But if they give up that road space, one building has no parking. So they have to get to that way to park more. But it's actually a little access.
So it's actually real close to my farm.
It's out of the small population that everybody puts it in that one area. True. I'm just trying to.
But we try, it helps just, helps us align things and start to at least understand how city lower, how people's thoughts are and what kind of stuff. You know, so from an outsider, we can start to say, this is exactly what they were allowed at that time. To any town park, and we try to make sure that folks have an opportunity to share their thoughts. And it helps guide the effort.